I'll be honest, when my screen finally blinked a seven-figure balance, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt emptiness. I had my million, but I had lost something far more important. I remember sitting there, eyes glued to the glow of the monitors, the numbers reflecting back at me. My hands were shaking, not from joy, but exhaustion and tension. I expected celebration, but instead there was silence and an odd numbness, as though the quiet of my empty apartment was mocking me. I had reached the summit, but I was at my loneliest low. And that was the hook, the punch in the gut I never saw coming. I want to tell you a truth almost nobody shares. The path to becoming a millionaire trader isn't a straight line of big wins and luxury cars, and often it costs more than it yields. I say this not from some motivational speech on YouTube, but from the emotional wreckage of living it and watching others endure it. In fact, studies back this up. Research finds traders frequently exhibit addiction-like behaviors, even anxiety and depression, linked to the market's wild swings. I felt every bit of that volatility in my bones. Imagine thinking one big trade will fix everything. I did. I set up my charts in a haze of adrenaline, heart pounding as news flashed across tickers. But just like past research warns, that first thrill can quickly turn sour. Within months, my tiny account was decimated. I blew through most of my starting capital. I had no real plan, no rules, just hope that the next trade would erase the losses. It didn't. It had to be a lesson. And so I stared at that balance crawling down to $0 and thought, this is it, rock bottom. That first big loss was my reality check. I had imagined hitting $1 million would be the end of my journey. But instead, it was just the beginning of a darker one. Therefore, I realized I needed a new approach. I started treating the market like a business, not a casino. I made spreadsheets of trades. I journaled every single decision and every twitch in my gut. Back then, it felt tedious, writing down entries, exits, plus the exact fears or euphoria I felt during each trade. But in that monotony was the seed of something real, discipline. Disciplined traders know, and research confirms, that most people lose, and it's not because they have worse indicators, but because they lack discipline. In fact, stats from brokers say 70 to 80% of retail traders lose money. I was edging toward that tragedy. What kept me alive was finally deciding I will be among the minority. I set hard rules. Never risk more than 1 to 2% of my account on one trade. Always use a stop loss and stick to my plan no matter what. No more gambling on random tips. Each day of this grind became a battle of context versus conflict, the classic storytelling dance. I tell myself today I am learning, but every day I was confronted with fear. For example, I woke up early, calm and ready, context, but 3 red candles in a row sent fear shooting through me. My friend Emily also went through this. She was bright and full of dreams one year, sleeping in on weekends and hanging out with friends. Then trading success pulled her in like a tide. Within months, she was up every dawn for the Asian session and wrapping screens around her head. She believed money would solve everything, but instead it introduced a constant tension to her life. She barely saw her family, skipped dinners, and as the market move spun on, her world narrowed to charts and trade alerts. She became a ghost of herself, once a social butterfly, now socially disconnected. Research even notes this. Trading's solitary nature can breed isolation and loneliness. Emily joked she had a trading desk instead of a dining table. As I climbed back up, rebuilding slowly, I realized something crucial. The real currency in trading isn't just dollars, it's emotional resilience. Every day was a test of my psyche. There were nights I lay awake, replaying mistakes with replay sniper anxiety. What if I miss a global news flash? What if the next trade fails? My heart and brain would throb. I felt symptoms that psychologists describe. Jitteriness in the morning, a pit of dread when the market dipped, even insomnia. Studies show this isn't unique. Unpredictable markets trigger stress hormones, leading to anxiety, sleep disturbances, and burnout. I had all of that. At times, I tasted true desperation. Losing streaks made me snarl at the charts. I'd pinch my arm every time, hoping the pain would break me from the cycle of revenge trading. I even convinced myself that I needed a big win to validate my entire worth. The darkness of it felt like depression creeping in, an emptiness I'd never known. Every loss whispered, "You'll never make it." If I believed those whispers, I could have cracked. Research says repeated losses can trigger feelings of despair and hopelessness, particularly if self-worth is tied to success. That was me. My identity had entangled with numbers on a screen. When I lost myself a little. There's a rhythm to these psychological ups and downs too. Think of it as a song with verses of confidence and choruses of doubt. It might sound dramatic, but trading really does become an addictive thrill. Every profit unleashes a splash of dopamine, that feel-good brain chemical, just like a gambler's high. In fact, experts compare it to the rush of gambling or even drugs. You learn to chase it, unaware that the brain's reward center is training you. The first few wins make your head cloud with invincibility. I can do no wrong. But inevitably, the market calls your bluff. I remember catching a perfect breakout trade once, my biggest win to date. The trade was textbook. I bought options before a policy announcement, wrote it up with a trailing stop. Boom, $4,800 in minutes. I sat back and felt that dopamine surge, pure victory. But then something odd happened. The next day, I was jittery. The memory of how close I came to losses haunted. By then, I'd seen the dark side in others too. Legends like Jesse Livermore, a man who made and lost fortunes, battled alcoholism and depression even after massive wealth. Reading about it later, I realized that none of this is new. Michael Burry, who foresaw the 2008 crash, stepped back from finance, citing anxiety from that stress. Even a star like Demi Moore spoke about losing sleep and obsessive stress after big market losses. All these people share the truth I discovered. Success in trading can mask despair. So what did I do? The turning point came when I accepted one rule above all: survive. As one trader put it, you become successful by simply enduring, surviving every bad trade, every greedy impulse. I set smaller daily goals, gave myself time off on losing days, and treated every loss as just one move in a bigger game. I even talked to other disciplined traders who swore by daily routines, early to bed, exercise, healthy meals, because they all emphasize mental fitness. Each morning, I'd meditate for 5 minutes before the market opened, reminding myself that I'm not my last trade. Every win, I silently tacked it on the wall, but never got cocky. Every loss, I jotted down a lesson instead of sulking. I learned to push the off button on my laptop and live my life again. Ironically, the more careful I became with risk, never more than 1% of the account per trade, the more free I felt. Think of it. While everyone else was gambling their entire net worth on the next big thing, I was calmly following rules. The path was long, but steady. The emotional toll never fully goes away. It doesn't magically vanish at a milestone. But I built systems around it. I closed positions before holidays to ease my mind. I set do not trade hours so I didn't sacrifice weekends. I talked to therapists when the dark thoughts crept in. Because as research on trading addiction emphasizes, if trading has consumed you, you need help. It felt weird at first, admitting I was burnt out and anxious even after all that money, but it saved my sanity. Looking back, the dance of context and conflict taught me survival. For every "and then I won big," there was a but my heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. Every "and then I lost everything" was followed by therefore I became more careful. I didn't just follow a story arc, I lived it, beat by beat. It looped around too. The ending was the beginning. The naive kid who dreamed of millions is the same person now, wiser and scarred, only richer. If I had to loop this whole story arc in one final line, it's this: making millions didn't fix my life, but surviving its trials taught me how to truly live again. I hope this confession, raw and unfiltered, helps you see the hidden costs. Because nobody talks about the insomnia, the stress, the friends lost, and the fear. We shout about Lamborghinis, but we whisper about heartache. Well, consider this me yelling it out. Becoming a millionaire trader can be a nightmare disguised as a dream.